Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's Crystal here with our Spring Farming Country. Today, you're just going to kind of bounce around with me. It is going to be a beautiful 84 degrees, so I plan on taking advantage of it for hours today. So I'm going to clean out the goat pen. I want to clean out the chicken coop. I've got to replant some seedlings. The ground has still been way too wet to transplant them into the garden area, but they're getting way too big for the little soil blocks, so I don't want to lose any. So I'm going to move them into some of those peat containers that you can put straight into the ground later. So I'm going to transplant those today. We may be moving some of the premier fence around so the goats can get opened up out there and graze a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of bounce all over and you're along for the ride. So I will, as usual, show you what I'm doing, and let's get to it and enjoy this beautiful weather today. So another project on the agenda, probably not today because it would require me to go inside and I don't want to. But do you guys ever have a problem with your chickens where the rooster is a little excessive with your hens, so they are plucking some of the feathers off of their back? Well, I'm having that issue. I'll show you what it looks like in a second with about 4 of my hens, and from what I've gathered, those must be his favorites. So I am going to have to sew up some of those hen aprons. Have you seen those? They're like a piece of fabric with some elastic you put under their wings, and it protects their back so that the rooster can't continue to do that. He's not trying to hurt them. I guess they're trying to run off because he's mating with them a little too often, so he just plucks out a feather trying to catch them. Overall, he's a really good rooster, but this thing's starting to annoy me because if he was to pluck enough to get blood, you know what happens then? All the other hens jump on her and hurt her. That's why we have Smokey completely separate from the rest of our hens, because that happened to her. Drew some blood, they all went after her and almost killed her, and now they really won't accept her back into the flock because we've had her separated for so long. But that's okay, makes her our special chicken goat that lives in the barn with the goats. But for these other ones, I want to make sure that doesn't happen to them because we can't seclude them all. They can't have their own island of misfit chickens. So we'll make some of that. So I'll show you that when I did. I'm just going to use some old clothes that we were going to trash anyway. It's not going to be anything fancy, but it will protect their back. So if you guys have dealt with that too, did those aprons seem to work? This will be the first time trying them, but hopefully that alleviates the problem and these hens can grow their feathers back. But now it's time to get over here and clean out the chicken coop. So let me show you what it looks like after a long winter. Here is the inside of the coop, and we do the deep bed method, the deep litter method. So we haven't needed to do a lot this winter. It doesn't smell in here, but since it's spring and we're doing some general spring cleaning, I want to get this top layer completely raked out, put some fresh pine down. And yeah, they're quite noisy. Get some fresh pine down and just kind of spruce it up in here for the rest of the season. They've done really well. We have a layer of sand. Hey, do you mind? Do you mind? We have a layer of sand that's actually the bottom of our coop, and that has worked amazing since we've done this. It has cut down on odors. It gives them a place to dust bath during the winter. It was nice and dry. Of course, when they were chicks, it was great as their grit. So it's been a lot of use. If we ever do another coop, which we will in the future, I'm sure, we'll put sand down as the bottom layer because we find it works really well. Okay, let me get back to this, and maybe she'll go lay her egg and go quiet. I don't know who invented these, but they don't make them easy to... Okay, then they do. I'm like struggling over here to get them out, and then they come right out. Oh my gosh, it'd take me forever just to pull them all apart. But time to get these planted. I've got some stuff to transplant. It's getting way too tall for the little soil blocks that I made before. You probably already saw that video. If not, I will link it here. But anyway, gonna move these. And that's really about it for my to-do list for today. May just find some odds and ends like filling up the bird feeders and stuff like that. But other than that, just want to get these moved. I'll feel so much better knowing I'm not gonna lose these seedlings before I can get them in the ground. So that's what I'm doing. Pry all these apart, then plant. Alright, so got all 60 of those containers filled. That's all I had for now, which took the majority of what I had. I think I originally had 128 soil blocks, but I didn't end up using all of them. Probably used around 100, but not everything germinated. So moved everything that I could that was getting too big for the soil block itself. So now in the next week or so, hopefully, fingers crossed, we get less rain so the ground can dry up just a bit so we can actually start putting things in the ground. But the chicken coop is refreshed. The goat pen is refreshed. We did move the Premier One fencing. I didn't get video of the actual move, but some of the footage afterwards of the goats enjoying the new area to graze on. Chubbs has something to say as well. And that's really it for us today, I think. Overall, got quite a bit done, so I'm happy with that. I also saw that our peach tree has blossoms all over it, so that makes me happy as well. But alright, I am going to sign off for this video, but thanks you guys for tagging along for all of the chores that we had to get done, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.